Hey y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and Bernie Sanders is no stranger to having his own bacon burned, because in this case, he tries to grill this top Trump fundraiser, Sanders-Bessent, and well, let's just say he's the one that ends up in the frying pan and into the fire. Let's dive in.
When you have a small number of multi-billionaires who have enormous economic, media, and political power, would you agree with President Biden, who last night stated, and I quote, "An oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that threatens our entire democracy, our basic rights, and freedoms," end of quote. That's what President Biden said last night. I agree with him. Do you?
Senator Sanders, I enjoyed our visit.
Talk a little bit closer into the mic.
I enjoyed our visit, and I hope you got my follow-up materials on the discussions, my previous writings on the tariffs and China. And look, the three billionaires who you listed that all made the money themselves. Mr. Musk came to the country as an immigrant.
I understand that, but what I'm asking you is, when you have a handful of people like Musk, who will soon be part of the Trump administration, and others, when you have three people owning more wealth than the bottom half of American society, when these people have enormous influence over the media, when they spend huge amounts of money in both political parties to elect candidates, what Biden said last night is we're moving toward an oligarchy. I'm asking you that question. Do you think, forget how they made their money, do you think that when so few people have so much wealth and so much economic and political power, that that is an oligarchic form of society?
Well, I would note that President Biden gave the Presidential Medal of Freedom to two people who I think would qualify for his oligarchs.
This is not a condemnation of any one individual. I'm just asking you, would so few people have so much wealth and power? But do you think that that is an oligarchic form of society?
Senator, I think it depends on the ability to move up and down the income.
No, that's not really the answer. I mean, even if you had that mobility, no matter who those individuals might be.
Good grief, what a ridiculous line of question. This dude is a sitting senator, all right, in one of the most powerful places on earth, okay? The most powerful places on earth are concentrated. They're in about a 5-mile radius of each other. It's the White House, it's the Supreme Court, it is the Congress, and, of course, the Pentagon, all right, just on the other side of the river. The most powerful places on this planet are in those 4 buildings, okay? There is not a billionaire. Okay, there's not this weird billionaire class where everyone magically goes to and they all have their little parties and then they decide the fate of the world. Okay, that is the Bohemian Grove, but the reality is those people have been kind of in charge for a while now. So why is Bernie Sanders just now talking about this? Alex Jones was breaking this story back in the early 90s before I was born. So if that exists, then we technically are. And we have been for a long time, so Bernie, why have you done nothing? Okay? Bernie knows firsthand what happens when you concentrate power in a handful of people instead of a democratically held election. He would have won his primary against Hillary Clinton if it had been truly democratic. Ironic for the Democrat Party. So why am I sounding like I'm agreeing with Bernie Sanders? Well, there's a certain person in this video that you might not know about, Sanders-Bessent. I had to look this dude up, but apparently he's been a top Trump fundraiser. He's from South Carolina, and he's made a ton of money. Now, this is where things get interesting. He helped manage the George Soros Fund. Yeah, he was part of the team that shorted the British pound and made $1 billion off of it. And so he's been doing this weird thing with George Soros for a while, but in 2016 he realized that, I've been working for evil. I've got to change this. And so he backs Donald Trump. So he would know exactly what this cabal would look like. He would know what an actual oligarchy looks like. And so he's not going to go out there and expose it directly. Oh, no, no, no. What you do with that money when you are in this sort of system is you then back the person that is most likely to basically break that system down and rebuild it with a better one. That's kind of what's going on with Donald Trump. So when it comes to oligarchies, Bernie, I think it's very ironic that this dude, despite having one literally take power from him, not be able to realize that, yeah, there's been one for a while and he's done jack squat about it. He complains about the millionaires and the billionaires. I can't get his accent down right. It's too northern. It's too Yankee for me. But he's been complaining about billionaires for forever, and now there's one telling him that, hey, the problem's in your backyard, buddy. Okay? Because Bernie Sanders, there's a certain level of bless your heart going on with this dude. Meanwhile, Sanders-Bessent is out here actually raising money, actually fighting the problem, and is actually sort of holding the fort down to make sure that American rights aren't being ridiculously trampled upon. And so, yeah, he would kind of know this. So this is a weird irony where everything's a little bit backwards here. Because instead of admitting that there is a problem, Sanders-Bessent is instead putting his money where his mouth is. And instead of telling everyone, hey, I've been a part of this problem for a while, yeah, Bernie Sanders is just going to sit there and do what Democrats do best, and that is deflect and deny. And they're trying to deflect the opposition heat that they're getting right now, and they're trying to deflect it to guys like Elon Musk. They're trying to deflect it now to Zuckerberg, who has apparently seen the light. What he said about how the CIA and the Biden administration buried the Hunter Biden laptop story, basically said that you need to remove all of these mentions from your platform. That sounds a bit oligarchic to me. How did Bernie Sanders miss this? It's almost as if he's a part of the party that is a part of the problem that won't really address the problem because it's an admission that they're either part of the issue themselves or they were powerless to stop it. And that would just break the facade that Democrats have. Because all at this point the Democrats really have in their bag are smoke and mirrors. That's all they can do. They can deflect, they can deny, but the truth is, there is sort of an oligarchy. Okay, it does exist. There is a cabal of people that have worked to quite literally overturn elections. As a matter of fact, let me pull this up. I have had this on my phone for 4 years now. And it's the Time magazine article, and I quote, this is the article headline, it's a 35-minute read, The Secret History of the Shadow Campaign That Saved the 2020 Election. Yeah, there is an oligarchy. There is a cabal. And ironically, it supports, and unironically actually, it supports people like Bernie Sanders. It supports the Democrat Party. There's a reason the Democrats outraise Republicans at a 6-to-1 ratio. I should know this. We tried, I was at Targeted Victory in 2020, raising money for Mark Brnovich and Marco Rubio, and we missed our quotas heavily. And all because, well, people were tired of the same old thing, but they overprojected, and when we looked at the numbers, once again, the Democrats outraised us at an insane clip. And that's because, ironically, because of Citizens United, these organizations can donate millions of dollars to Democrat campaigns. That's why Republican campaigns always feel grassroots. That's why Democrat campaigns have paid door knockers, and Republicans have almost nothing but volunteers. However, this landscape is now changing. And Sanders-Bessent, I think that's how you pronounce his name, he's French in origin, and so that's a bit harder for me. Ironically, from the South, because we have Cajuns, but we also have a bunch in the Carolinas. There's literally a town and a lake called Gaston in North Carolina. So kind of ironic, don't you think? But anyways, I'm getting off base. We are seeing a shift here. We are seeing a tide moving away from the insanity and the once mighty cabal that kind of ran the American system, and we're finally moving away from that. And it is high time for that to happen, and it's just so deliciously ironic that Bernie Sanders is a part of it, and he's denying its mere existence. That is a bless your heart kind of moment. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed that segment here on Political Brawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. And until then, y'all have a good one.